And we're back. um, there was some things that I had in mind to talk about, but there was a gentleman, I think, who asked to we talk about improvements to mobile homes that you could do to your home as a do-it-yourselfer, and I believe I could help.
The value.
Yeah, to improve value, resale value. Um, First, you need to there's two different places that you would have to make decisions. One is do you own the land or are you renting that property? Um, then there will be limitations on what you can do for property. Quite often, real nice landscaping around it, flowers and bushes and things like that make a large difference. So you can have things to help accent that home, and believe me, it makes a difference. A chain link fence makes a difference because now it's available to people who have family, like a little kid that might wander out and they don't want it. They want to be able to keep an eye on that child and maybe be able to go inside and get a bathroom break or a drink of water and come back and it's still there. Whereas if you didn't have a fence, you wouldn't have it. Or say you had a dog or some other kind of pet. Here lately I've been seeing potbelly pigs, but anyway, some kind of pet. That chain link fence gives it that secure feeling. So a chain link fence gives a lot of stability to a mobile home, and that's what a lot of people are looking for. If you're trying to get a FHA loan, they're not going to accept regular skirting. They're going to want block foundation around it. Now that block foundation does not support, hold up the house by any means, but it looks as though it's more stable. So that's what you even when you come to financing, that's what you're trying to do. Of course, faded paint hurts, and quite often that paint that's on there, particularly on metal or masonite, it requires being repainted. So you would then have a choice to try to accent the way you want it to accent. And I used to be a big fan of Architectural Digest and pick up colors and schemes for the interior rooms. But now you can do Pinterest and Instagram and get all kinds of different colors and ideas. Now, a metal roof, generally, even if people don't know anything about the maintenance on that roof, it just looks better, cleaner. Does it have to have a soffit and fascia? Actually, this is fascia and this is soffit. On the outside edge, no, it doesn't. Most people really don't notice that much. It's people that are in the construction trades that notice it more when it comes to a mobile home. So you would try to get a metal roof on there at some point. That would bring up the value, and that gets rid of roof rumble and the constant maintenance. You still have maintenance around your vents that go through the roof. Maybe 10 years later you might have to put a ridge cap foam in. But again, you would be paying attention to the color that works best with your colors of your home. So now we've talked about the landscaping, maybe even a sidewalk, chain link fence, or even privacy fence sustained. Those things are not technically connected to the home, but if it's with the property, it certainly makes a difference. And I've seen it done on rentals where they rent the property and they still do nice plants and flowers. It certainly makes a difference. Now, at the bottom, if you are not doing an FHA loan, you don't want to go to the expense that it takes to do concrete foundation and or footings and then block installation, you would go to a metal skirting. And the most common is a white color, but I have done solid black, brown, red, all different kinds of colors, tans. Again, what you're trying to do is accent one color to another.
Curb appeal.
That's the number one thing when it comes to selling real estate, is what its curb appeal is. So that's what we're working on. You don't want to necessarily use high dollar blinds, but blinds do show up inside the windows. So when you look out and you say, oh, it's no big deal, I always keep them closed. But people notice if you're hanging a sheet across it, or putting, no, one person I know that they put tin foil on all the windows.
I know a lot of people do that.
To reflect.
Work at night.
That's not necessarily appealing, and it kind of lends itself, even to the guy that I know did it. He calls it, crack house.
Yeah, I was gonna
curtains.
say meth house curtains.
Meth house curtains, yeah. So you want to get something like blinds that, you don't have to spend a ton of money, but some blinds that look legitimate and not tore up by the animals. That's hard to do. Kids want to bend them and all that kind of thing. So that when you're getting ready to sell, those are things you need to have that you can see from the outside. Another would be, when we talked about the colors on either the side, the siding's pretty much there. You can paint siding, but vinyl siding, but it's specific kinds of paint, and I don't know that any of it's terribly successful.
And we're back.
So we're having problems with the computer. We'll have to buy another one. So our curb appearance is what we're working on. So you need to figure out what color scheme, and then buy your metal that would work with that scheme. So your metal on the skirting, your metal on the roof, and then whatever colors you have for the solid part of the body. And then we talked about the blinds, so they don't look bad from the outside. But I might also encourage you to put shutters, fake shutters up. You can do the fiberglass shutters, get them the size. They don't have to be exact, but you can also do wooden shutters that you make yourself. There's a lot of people out there that make show you different ways to do it. I think I've got a video on how to make wood shutters out of privacy fence materials, and then stain them so that it looks something complementary to what you have. If you do the shutters on every window and got all your paint and your skirting and your landscaping around your bushes and flowers, really pretty, like a nice walkway, even if it's blocks that your pads that you're going to take with you later, then you have a need for a deck that looks nice, maintained nice. There's a lot of videos on how to build a deck, including my channel. So you build a deck that looks nice, has a good entrance. Understand that although the mind doesn't actually click onto it, the getting furniture in and out ends up being something that people instinctively think is correct. So you wouldn't have a small deck that turns immediately to the left or to the right. You would want a deck that would unload straight out, or if you have a small deck, straight out so you can take the furniture straight in. Or you would have big enough so that you could turn on that deck and come down. And that instinctively people think of that as substantial. And a nice looking deck is good on any home. Then finally is the exterior lights. Most of these homes have very, very inexpensive plastic light fixtures. A lot of them called the jelly jar glass, and or other very plastic, cheap plastic. So you would look for nice outdoor fixtures that go by the door, and I think that would make a big difference. And you could probably find some at Habitat for Humanity or on sale or online. I mean, quite often you can get them online, but look at reviews when it comes to that kind of thing. The door can be expensive, but it actually makes a difference also. If your door is pretty worn and sagging on one side, you might want to start thinking about replacing the door with a regular house type door and then putting a screen door, a house type screen door. And that will make a difference. All right, so on the outside, you would have the possibly a fenced yard so they can have their dog, cat, well, cats won't stay in fence, but dog or kids be able to have a place. And you wouldn't have to worry about anybody running up on your property without having to climb a fence. So people are attracted to that. Privacy fence, if it's maintained, and chain link fence otherwise. And then the sidewalks, and then the skirting, the roofing. Do your colors on the siding of the house and shutters, and then window dressing visible from the inside and the outside, and then the light fixtures. And it may be a deck that would look good. There's lots of really nice looking decks out there that really don't cost a lot, or you can build it as you can afford it.